Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a virtual machine using the VMware Player. Now, any virtual machines that you create within VMware Player are going to utilize the system resources from your machine. So your machine is going to become the host machine for the guest virtual machine that you will be creating. So this program is really straightforward. It's really easy to use. Launch it, come in here, click create new virtual machine. It's going to launch the new machine wizard. Now you have different options on how you're going to actually install an operating system onto your virtual machine. So right away it's giving you those options. It's asking if you want to install from an installer disk, if you want to use an ISO image, or if you just want to install the operating system later. And if you choose that option, it's just going to create the virtual machine with a blank hard drive or hard disk. So we're gonna use the installer disk option. I already have a 2008 R2 disk loaded into my DVD drive on my computer, so it's already recognizing that. I'm going to click next. The version of 2008 R2 I have in my DVD drive is a trial disk, so there's no product key associated with it, and it also has multiple versions of 2008 R2 on there. So I'm going to select the version. I'm just going to go with 2008 R2 standard. For the personalized Windows area, I'm going to type in administrator. I'm going to leave the password section blank. It's just a little message telling me I didn't enter a product key and that it's going to require manual activation later. That's fine. It's asking me for a name for my virtual machine. I'll go with the default name that it's choosing for me. Location, so for the virtual machine files, I'm going to actually want to browse and store those somewhere else. I added a secondary hard drive to my computer just for this presentation, so not that one. The F drive, I'm going to make a new folder on there. Call it VM files. Okay, so that's where I'll be storing the virtual machine files. So it's asking me to specify disk capacity. It's recommending 40 gigs for that operating system. I'm going to go ahead and leave all the defaults here. Now you can click customize hardware and change things. Like you can allocate more memory, more processors. You don't really need to mess with the CD drive, being that we chose to use host resources to pass through to the virtual machine to install our operating system. Network adapter, right now it's in NAT mode. You can leave it in NAT mode if you want to, or you could select bridged if you want it to connect directly to the physical network. You have different options in here for USB compatibility, sound card, printer, display. You can accelerate 3D graphics, things like that. I'm just going to go with the defaults for this presentation. So we'll hit close and we'll click finish. Here's another message telling me basically about the peripherals I have connected to my machine that it can pass through to the VM. Okay, it's good to know. So you can already see Windows is loading its files. And this is no different than what you would see if you were loading this same media on a regular computer, a physical machine. It's the exact same process. So this process is going to take quite a bit of time to complete, so I'm going to pause the video and I'll unpause, different points of the install just to kind of show you what it's doing. Okay, so the installation is almost complete here. We should be pretty close to having a fully functional machine here in the next couple minutes. Okay, so the installation is completed. One last thing to do, which is totally automated. The VMware Player is going to install VMware tools on the machine, and that's going to load all the necessary drivers that are going to make the VM function more efficiently. So once that's complete, it will reboot one more time, and then you will have a fully functional machine. Okay, so now we have our fully functional 2008 R2 virtual machine. And you can use it just like it was a physical machine. There's a couple different options you can do within the player. Now, the way we're viewing the virtual machine right now is like a console view. So just think of it as like if you were sitting in front of a physical computer with a keyboard and a mouse and a monitor hooked directly to it. It's not like a remote type of view session or anything like that. It's a console session. So if you click on this little down arrow here for the player, you'll have different options of different things you can do. But the main ones you'll want to be concerned with are this power section here. You can send the commands to shut down the system, the virtual machine. You can suspend it, or you can restart it. You could also attach the removable devices that it was warning us or informing us about earlier, like my external hard drive. I can pass that through to the virtual machine. I can pass through this headset that I'm using to record this presentation on to the virtual machine if I wanted to. I can send a Control-Delete to the machine. You can switch to full screen mode. So there's different options in here. So what we're going to do now, so you've created a virtual machine. You see how it's done, how easy it is. You see it's no different than a physical machine. It's going to perform, adequately according to the resources that you have allocated for it. So right now this one has one processor and 2 gigs of memory. So like I mentioned before, you can make adjustments to those. Even after the machine is created, you can still make adjustments to it, add more memory and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this machine down, and I'll show you how to make some of those adjustments, and then I'll show you how to delete the machine. So we're just going to shut down the guest. So we can right click the machine, go to settings, and we can come in here and we can adjust the memory. We can bump it up to 4 gigs if we wanted to. We could change the processors. We could use 2 processors instead of 4. Instead of 1. So I can apply those settings to the machine. Power it back on. So I powered the machine on. Now you can see I have 2 processors in here, and I have 4 gigs of memory. So that's pretty, it's pretty convenient that you can do that. It would not be that easy to do on a physical machine. It would be a lot more time consuming. Another way to shut the machine down rather than going to this player section here, is right here is the power options. So we'll just shut down the guest. Okay, so that is how you build a machine, and a couple of the basic tasks that you can perform with the virtual machine in VMware Player. So now I'm going to show you how to delete it. To delete it, simply click it, right click it, select delete from disk. It's telling you the action is reversible because you're going to wipe out the virtual machine completely. It's going to delete all the files. So click yes, and now it's gone. So it's really simple to create, experiment with, and delete virtual machines. So hopefully you find this presentation useful, and hopefully it answers some of the questions you may have had.